I almost got stabbed and killed by a bunch of these Latin kings when I was 17 years old. And it went down at a party at our friend Wayne's house. We were at his uncle's and his aunts. They were out of town. They stayed in a very nice part of the suburbs, and we decided to have a party. A bunch of Polish chicks, a bunch of drugs. I was selling a lot of cocaine at the time, especially for a 17-year-old. I think my buddy Curtis had like 4 8-balls on him, and I had like several $1,000s worth of cash on me. I think like $5,000. I had 2 fat ounces of some really good weed, and then our buddy Hoser showed up with all of his boys, and things just got crazy. They started going in all sorts of parts of the house. Their attitude, their vibe was nasty, and we just knew that something bad was going to pop up, but we tried to ignore the vibe. We tried to say, no, we're just tripping, everything's going to be fine, it's going to be okay. Sure enough, they start harassing the chicks. Things start getting a little hectic. Things start going missing from the party really quickly. And that's when we were like, okay, we're done with this. Hoser, you got to get these guys out of here. What the fuck is going on? Because he's supposed to be like their captain or something like that. So I'm sitting there tweaking, panicking, freaking the fuck out. And so I turned to Curtis and I was like, man, we got to get ready to get out of here. When all of a sudden, that's when we heard it. Hey, they're jumping John Henson up in the loft of the garage. So we all go running up there, and it's just absolute chaos. It was mayhem, like something out of a movie. There's like 20 Mexicans, 20 us, mixed race, whatever you want to call it, and shit's just going down. I mean, there's like a weight set up there in the top of it. It wasn't like a small loft. It was a big loft, very ritzy house. I mean, there's a weight set. Weights are getting thrown in people's faces. Bottles are getting smashed across people's faces. You know, things are being thrown all over the place. Punches are being thrown. Kicks are being blown. And we actually beat them out of there down into this little stairwell. We push them out into the side of the garage. My buddy Bobby T is sitting there throwing literally 2.5-pound weights, whipping them down at dudes. I would be shocked if he didn't crack somebody's face open with those things, because there's about 15, 20 of them. And all of a sudden we push them out. I'm freaking out because Curtis isn't a fighter. I'm not even much of a fighter at the time, although I've been in a few. And I'm worried about the cops coming because these guys all said they're going to get the guns and shoot the place up. I'm thinking they got guns in the car. So I'm freaking out, tripping. A few minutes goes by, and I was like, where's Curtis? Curtis calls me. He says, hey, I'm in my car. We got to get out of here. I was like, you're right, because if the cops show up, we are fucked. We are totally fucked because we've got so much drugs, hard drugs on us, so much cash, and it's obvious we're selling all this stuff. So what do? I tell everybody I'm out of here. And I go outside, and lo and behold, who's sitting out there waiting for somebody? All those Latin kings are sitting out there just waiting for somebody. So at the time I had really long hair. They grabbed me by my hair, and I was just like, dude, this sucks. I'm fucked. So I just started throwing punches and running. And now it had just snowed out. It was like January 1st of like 2004. And because it was a year before John went in the Marines, and then 2 years before I went in the Marines. And so I'm running on the snow, and I'm running towards the woods. But then I start thinking to myself, this isn't going to go very good for me if I run into the woods and all these guys catch me and they're just going to kill me and I'm never going to get found. So I decided to make a quick pivot, turn around. Now I know I got to go back through the crowd, but Curtis's car is that way. So I take a pivot, I turn, they're slipping in the snow, falling, and I'm booking it. And I'm basically running down this hallway of just Mexicans beating the shit out of me as I'm running. They're throwing punches, hitting me, blows. And then all of a sudden I make it to the last one, and I could see Curtis's car in a little woodsy parking lot area. And bam. All I remember thinking to myself was, as I saw the glass hit the snow around me, I said, where did they get a lamp from? Like, where did they get a lamp? And it wasn't a lamp, it was a Jaeger bottle. And it actually broke. They hit it so hard on my head that it actually broke the glass bottle. And I started losing consciousness. I took a couple steps and I fell on the hood of another car. And I just knew that I had to keep moving. I had to keep going or I was going to die. As I pushed myself off the hood of the car, another bottle, which turned out later to be a Jaeger Smirnoff Twist bottle, thick glass, smashed. So they were trying to break it across the side of my face. Would have been this side. And I trip over my own legs because, again, I'm losing consciousness. This thing a bottle to the head will take you down hard. And I collapse on the ground. And I was so dizzy and disoriented, especially now because I got out this swarm of Mexicans, like a bunch of pissed off bees all over me already. I just assumed the fetal position because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fight all these guys off. I was fucked. My only hope was that somebody came to help me. And there were no windows on the garage. And I just remember this fury. Like, it wasn't even that bad, honestly. Like, their punches and their kicks didn't even really hurt at all. But then all of a sudden, they said, stab this motherfucker. And I was just like, oh my God. And thankfully, Hoser was getting bitched at by Wayne. Wayne was like, what the fuck is going on right now? And he heard stab him, and he was like, who are they going to stab? And he looked and he saw it was me. And he came over there and he pulled them off of me. He's like, get the fuck off of me. He pulled me up. Him and Wayne pulled me up. They throw me back in the garage where, all my friends were. And all of a sudden now, to my friends, the garage door opens. Boom, I come in there all bloody, all half conscious. They're like, what the fuck? They pull me up the staircase. They lay me down. And I remember this guy, Ben Zapata, I'm laying there literally losing consciousness, and he puts a metal pipe in my hand. He goes, here in case they come back. And I just remember thinking to myself, motherfucker, if they come back, the last thing I want to be seen as is a combative, because I cannot move my body right now. I was done. I was toasted. I was so high and drunk and drugged up and had the shit kicked out of me by like 20 fucking dudes. So thankfully, they didn't come back with guns. They didn't come back at all, and they just ended up taking off. And I was eventually able to get into Curtis's car, and he drove me to his dad's house, where I stupidly went to sleep. I didn't go to the hospital. Woke up the next day just covered in blood, and ended up doing a bunch of cocaine because I was a stupid fucking kid. And the point of this story, there's several points of the story. One, hang out with stupid people in stupid places at stupid times, and dumb shit's gonna happen to you guys, man. So don't do that. Two is, trust your gut. When you get the vibe, the energy, there's 100 million neurons in your stomach. And so when you get that vibe about somebody, you can trust it. The other one is, don't make decisions based out of fear and panic. I should have stayed there with the numbers, with my friends, with the group, where there was some benefit to it, instead of going outside trying to make an escape for it. Sometimes that works for you, but sometimes it apparently doesn't. If you're getting chased down by a group of people, don't go running into the woods, because if they catch you, they're going to kill you out there. Like, I would have got stabbed and killed and left, and nobody would have found me for a long, long time. So remember, there's strength in numbers to some degree. Absolutely. And lastly, keep going. Don't ever stop. Don't ever give up. Life's going to be beating you up all the time, just like the Mexicans were to me. They're going to break a bottle over your head. Life's going to break a bottle over your head. But if you stop, it's just going to get worse. Like when I pulled myself off the hood of that car, that Smirnoff bottle would have cracked the side of I can't even imagine the damage that would have done to me. Never stop. Always keep moving forward. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Keep persevering no matter what the fuck is going on in your life. We all have the strength deep within us. And lastly, sometimes it pays to be a friend. It's like when Hoser came to my rescue, it's because we were friends to a degree. Who are you friends with? Can they help you in these times of distress when you just truly might need a hand? Who can you be a friend to? Think about that. Lots of life lessons learned that day. Unfortunately, they didn't come to fruition until years later. Don't make the same foolish mistakes that I made, and that so many others made before. All right, everyone, take care. Stay lethal.